Ding. Good morning and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, September 20th. What the hell? We have one more week of September and then we are into October. This is just absolutely crazy that it's just flying by, like flying by. But anyway, good morning. I am the Badass Buddha coming to you from Southern Connecticut, where we are in the fall. The leaves have not started changing yet, but the temperatures are just oh so wonderful. We've had a nice mix of rain, which we needed. We have, there's been some humidity off and on, which is, don't like that in the fall, but we've had plenty of dry days and the temperature's been absolutely wonderful, and sometimes with a light breeze. And this is one of my favorite times of the year. I love any of the transitions. I love transitioning into any of the seasons, but spring and fall are my favorites. And especially when you're in New England, fall is just phenomenal in New England. So anyway, I'm enjoying every bit of it. And so, yeah, welcome. Beautiful day today. It's going to be sunny. I don't think it's going to be all that hot. So welcome. Happy start of your week. And go ahead, my friend, my beautiful friend.
Hola, mi gente. Buenos días. This is La Margarita, your gladiator guru, with my eczema killing me. When is the official fall date?
The 20, I think. Oh, isn't it tomorrow? Is it today or tomorrow? Well, that's right. Of the fall equinox, right? I didn't even think about that.
I don't know exactly when, but people travel from all over to New England during the fall season.
Yes.
To look at our beautiful leaves, ranging all the way from New York all the way up to Boston and beyond, I guess, where all the beautiful leaves fall. So that's something to brag about. Hola, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita here in Tampa. I don't know how it is outside. Sunny, clear, and most likely it would be very hot later. So that's us in a nutshell here in Florida. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a very relaxing weekend. A lot of productivity in certain parts of my body here, mostly. And you know what happens when you think it, ink it, believe it, you'll achieve it.
Oh, you haven't said that one in a while. Yeah,
so I just think that it's a beautiful beginning to a new week, and many things can happen. A week, 7 days? Remember, that's how the world was created, in 7 days. So there's not anything you cannot do in a week's time. Let's aim for that. So welcome everybody for being here. Tiffany, Brian, Christy.
There's Christy Sullivan. Christy was a guest of ours. And actually, I think we're putting Christy in again. Christy, I apologize because there's been a lot of Gladiator Guru and I have been going through a lot of shifts, like in our personal lives. And we had sort of created this very interesting thing for September. And I can't remember. I know we had talked about having you back on, and I think we threw out some dates, and I hope to God that the dates that I said that we threw out weren't like the dates that we didn't put you in. So please that's all on me. So please be patient, because you will come back on the show. We love your energy. So thank you for being here today. And we ask all of you that are on. Good morning, Tiffany, Brian, first one on. She beat Milagros today. And there's Milagros and Tata. Good morning. And please don't forget to share. We love it when you share. We love when you let everybody know where you are this morning. Even if you know you're not going to be on for very long, just see if you could get some of your own tribe to come on and listen to us, because of this, what we've been talking about all September. The September month is the month of taking control and taking action. And because we've done nothing but prep you for every single session that we've had in September, which has been one continuous coaching session, So for those of you that have not been following, please get it when you get a chance, look at the all of the September videos from or the shows, starting with September 1st with our guest Gail Craft. And we opted not to have any guests for the rest of the month purposefully. And because we have a very specific thing that we're doing, but it all works together and it all connects. So if you have just jumped on, or if you're just hearing this for the first time, definitely go back, because we give you questions to answer. We have conversations, and it's all going to culminate to the very last day of the month of our show, where it's called Take the Leap. And so anyway, so good morning, Gwen. Thank you everybody for being here.
Yes, muchas gracias. Buenos días. It's a beautiful morning.
Yes, it is.
So with that,
that's our intention.
Yep.
Yes, because we do have Lillian Maldonado coming on. She's going to be coming on for a few minutes for every session, pretty much between now and maybe the second week of October, to help sell tickets for her gala event, which is coming up. So she's going to talk all about that. But so let's go ahead and do that so we can give Lillian her time. All right. So our intention, as always, on Viva Cafe con Leche is to be intentional and
grateful.
So set your intention for whatever that may be today. You could set it now. You could set it multiple times during the day, but always go with
gratitude.
Yes, absolutely. Always be grateful. Okay, let's do our mantra and let's get busy. So say it loud, say it proud. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I am beyond authentic.
And I keep it real.
And I always have to give kudos, although I don't do it all the time. The magically orgasmic gladiator guru, Margarita de Margarita, because she's the one that coined that. And I got to tell you that since she's told me that in the years that I've known her, it is such a powerful 2 words. Like the 2 words are so powerful, and they really mean so much more beyond than what people initially hear when they hear those 2 words. So I love it. I've used those words before, because and right when you use those words, Gladiator Guru, you get the response from people you see in their face when they hear you say magically orgasmic. It's like they put this little smirk on or smile, like did you just say that?
Yeah, it's not still as much reaction as with the power of pussy, but it's still,
of course, right?
Yeah, it makes them giggle. It does, and I think that's what the whole point is just to be like, what?
Yes, absolutely. So my sister's on. Good morning, Leanne. And good morning to everybody for being on here. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to share. We really, really appreciate more views, especially because of what we're doing. And again, we're going to be doing, it's like a live coaching session. So please make sure that you have a pen and paper so that you could take notes. And remember, you can always go back and rewatch to see if you missed something, or if you came on late and you want to make sure that you cover everything. So let's go ahead and get Miss Lillian on, and so that she can go ahead and talk about her upcoming event. And it is already posted where you can click on. Unfortunately, I'm going to see if I can copy it to get it on YouTube as well. But if you're on Facebook, you should see it in the comments, and you should be able to click on it. So let's bring Miss Lillian on.
Great morning. Yay. Great morning.
Yes.
For those of you that don't know, Margarita and I have been friends for 34 years. And when she started The Power of Pussy, she made hats and t-shirts. And I said, sorry, I draw the line. I'm not wearing that. But now, after so many years and the meaning behind it and her artwork, and I would proudly wear
Oh.
it.
Thank you.
I don't think that's that powerful of a statement, but at least you're warming up to it after 35 years. So that's good to know.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So I was around when the creation came and she had made the t-shirts and the hats, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I draw the line. I'm not wearing that. But you know,
I've always been radical. I've always thought outside the box. I always never gave a shit about what the mass thought about what I liked. So, and I understand other people always, even my daughter, she hates that word. And I don't care. And so it's a beautiful thing when it's the light, what is it? The light of the dawn, when it comes and people like really see it for what it is, because it's a beautiful thing.
so I am here to talk about Ajusta Tu Corona Gala, which is taking place October 22nd, 2022 in Winter Park, Florida. And what it is it's a fundraiser. So we are here to assist women of adversity, focusing on domestic violence. And this year we are raising funds for Help Now of Osceola. So we would be so grateful if you guys would attend the event. Margarita is the co-organizer of the event. We put a lot of our sweat and tears into this event to make it a success. It is so much fun. It is an interactive event. You're not just going to sit there and listen to speakers over and over. I personally went to an event that was a domestic violence fundraiser, and all we did was listen to speakers. And people paid a lot of money to do that. We try to go beyond that, and we have performers. We have break sessions where we have um, actually an activity that you participate in. There is music. We make you get up and jiggle a little bit and just enjoy yourself for a great cause. Um, every day I wake up and it's to the point where it just breaks my heart. Every day I wake up to read an article of another woman killed by her domestic partner. And not just one, it's like various people are being killed by their domestic partners. And the sad thing is that now they're taking down the children with them. And it's such an important cause. When women are abused and they leave, sometimes they tend to go back. So we want to catch them and make sure that they truly understand what a wonderful life and opportunity they may have before they go, without the abuse, that they will think twice about going back. I know that from personal. I was a victim of domestic violence. I myself went back again. And part of the reason that I went back was financial fear. I was afraid that I couldn't make it on my own. So we want to give the women the tools that they need to understand that life can be wonderful, to help educate them, to help them see that there are, tons of job opportunities, that they can take care of themselves, that we are willing to help them and assist them in all of this. As I stated, the gala is an amazing event. When you leave there spiritually fulfilled. It is just an aura of like-minded people. This year, we are opening the doors to men. And the reason is because we constantly help the women, and the men need to understand, one, how victims of domestic violence suffer, how they think, their mentality, and how they can also help to put an end to this cause. We need more men talking to men about how wrong this is. Love does not hurt. So we need all of your assistance. If you are not, the event is $125 ticket. We ask that you graciously attend the event. We want to see all of you at the event. But if you are not able to attend the event, we ask if you would kindly purchase a ticket for a woman of domestic violence that's in a shelter that may be able to attend the event, hoping to lift her spirits. We are looking for sponsors. We have a program, and in the program, we are taking sponsor ads, half page, full page. Um, we are also taking dedications. Maybe you want to dedicate a half page or a page to someone that has passed away from domestic violence, someone you want that is so important to you. So, all of this we ask of you, and Laurie has the link where you may go, givebutter.com/ATC 2022. So if you would kindly click on the link, donate. We would prefer you attend the event. We would love to see all of your faces there. All of this we need by the first week of October, as it is a catered event, and we must give the numbers to the caterer.
And this is really, it's a lot of fun, this event. And like, I won't be able to attend, but I'm going to donate because I think it's beautiful that you want to get, offer to individuals that are in shelters a chance to just attend and be there. And some of these women sometimes never even had a chance to experience such an event because of their circumstances. And I'm also really happy that you are offering it to men as well.
Mhm.
One thing that I have been noticing over the last few months is, first off, the reason you're doing it to get men to understand where these women are coming from, so that these patterns can be broken, so that they understand what their behaviors may be like, or recognize somebody else's behavior, and then they can step in. But also because men are being abused too, and this isn't
Absolutely.
spoken a lot about. And also within domestic violence community, the uprising in individuals in the homosexual community. So in the gay community, the amount of abuse that occurs is, like, I think most people are shocked to hear just how traumatized and abused people can be in the gay community, within with their partners.
Mhm.
And for you to open it up to men and women, that means that you're opening it up to so many different people from so many different backgrounds. And I think that's just absolutely phenomenal. Everybody needs the support
Absolutely.
for domestic violence.
The gala is a themed event. We've had Breakfast of Tiffany's. We've had The Great Gatsby. This year it's an English tea party. So we asked the men to wear their paperboy hats. We asked the women to wear fedoras or big fascinators or big hats, and just come have a great time. You will not regret it. Everyone who has attended the event, uh, our feedback is unbelievable. And not to pat myself on the back, but that is the point. We are trying to reach your heart. We are trying for you to understand. We are trying for you to heal. And it is an amazing event. We would love it if you would please attend the event.
Attend, donate towards it, pay for someone else to attend. I mean, there's a million ways to participate in saving a life
Mhm.
and putting
Absolutely.
smiles on people's faces. So
And
be
as
that person.
Absolutely. And if you can't afford to purchase a ticket for someone, on the page, it says donation. Listen, every little bit counts. This is going to a shelter for domestic violence. So if all you can afford to give is $20, then give $20. We have steps on there that ask for sponsorship, but at the bottom it says donate, and any amount is not too small. Please help us in this cause, help these women of domestic violence. It is so important to teach them that life is so much more beautiful out of that hurt.
And they mean something, that they are worth something. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. So thank you. And Lillian, by the way, you look very, very, I love how you dressed up for us this morning. This is so fabulous.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for having me, guys.
No, we will see you Thursday because this
Yes.
Yeah.
is go
Yes.
on. Let's spread words. Let's spread opportunities to attend galas, and let's do less flower purchasing for funerals. That's what the bottom line
Yes,
is.
that's a
Absolutely.
way to look at it.
Play an active role in the lives of those in need instead of whispering goodbyes to the ear. So, I mean, you got to weigh the pros and cons. People don't like the raw truth in their face, but that's the raw truth.
Absolutely.
Let's help someone laugh out loud and enjoy the sunrises and the sunsets instead of having flowers.
Yeah. And the links in both YouTube and Facebook chats are clickable. And think about it this way too, that if you know anybody that lives in Florida and you know that they have been they have experienced domestic violence in their lifetime, even if it was their parents, not necessarily them, it still affects them. You know what? If you can't attend, call them up and say, what do you do on October 22nd? I would like to buy a ticket for you and send you to an event. Do that, because you don't even have to just donate it in general. If you know somebody that's in that area that can make it there, and just say, I'm buying you a ticket. I want you to attend this event and enjoy yourself. So,
and if not, and you feel that kindness overflowing in your heart, then donate. Donate $20, $40, $60, whatever you want to donate, but donate.
Yep.
Every little bit counts.
Absolutely. Thank
All
you,
right.
ladies.
Thank you so much for coming on, Lillian. We'll see you on Thursday. All right.
That was great. I feel that with topics like this and with events like this, it's like it's never enough. You can never say it enough. You can never repeat it enough. You can never go on enough shows enough to promote events like this, because every day I have been reading articles of women. The vocero in Puerto Rico. There was one time, there was one day, 2 weeks ago, I think it was 3 women murdered in the island on the same day from domestic violence. And it happens, they say every 3 minutes a woman is being abused. So we could never do enough by not doing. So let's do. If you can donate $20, then if you can donate a ticket, if you can sponsor a dedication to somebody you lost in your life to domestic violence in the booklet. If you want to sponsor your business, if you want to be
that's a great idea.
If you want to be a vendor and be in Winter Park, and for the price of selling at the event, you get to have an hour of selling your merchandise and then enjoy the whole event. So, there's always rewards to whatever it is you give when it comes to a cause so close to many of our hearts.
Yeah, and you don't need to be in Winter Park even. You can be a vendor just outside. You could be an online vendor, and like a person has an online business, and just show up and enjoy it and then do your thing for online, So but either way, God bless Puerto Rico and the families.
Carmen, if you only knew, we had tickets to leave for Friday, Iritza and I. Then for some reasons, I had to back away. I was going to work on the coffee farms. And then Fiona hit. So we didn't go to Puerto Rico.
Thank goodness.
And but all our families that we're aware of, praise God, they're okay. They wasn't hit by all the mudslide videos that we saw, and all the cars and the bridges being taken away. I guess it hit one part of the island more so than the other. But yes, prayers go out. Prayers been going out. I'm speaking to people in Puerto Rico, and so yeah, Mother Nature, she you gotta respect her. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Take it for granted. But did you answer Jonathan as I was answering Carmen? Carmen's.
How can I donate or even spot? Jonathan, look in the chat box of whether YouTube or I know you're on YouTube, but it's in there, and it should be a clickable link in there. So that Gladiator Guru just popped it up on there. That's the exact same one, whether it's on the YouTube chat or the Facebook chat, and just click on it. And if it's not working, if it's not a clickable link, I know it is on Facebook, but if it's not on YouTube, just copy it and then paste it into your whatever your address.
Do it. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. And I wish it was closer. I wish you could have came, because you know what? My thing, when I always spoke at schools, I always reminded the boys that they came from a woman. They should respect a woman. But it takes a lot of us, a village, right? It takes a village. And what a lot of people don't speak about is that high domestic violence is in the high schools. It's those high school girls getting manipulated, abused, and threatened by their boyfriends, and because there's no way out, they can't tell their parents because then they can't see them no more. Then they don't want to stop. It's a whole gamut of confusion, and that's where we gotta focus. When we look at somebody, look at them, because you never know what smile or what. Hey, you're beautiful. Oh my God, can save a life. Carmen, God is good, and it is funny how. What did she say? Funny, I didn't travel.
How fun you didn't travel.
Yeah.
Like you did that. It worked out that way. Yes.
It was supposed to be
Divine intervention.
But because of the storm, tickets got canceled with no fees and none of that. So yeah, God is good. And Iris was still gonna go, and then she's like, well, I don't know, because in the power, it's on now, but what if it comes off? And it's a chance you gotta take. Buenos dias, Marina. So yeah. So happy that everybody's on. If you can go take a look at GiveButter /ATC 2022, go right ahead, read about it. If you know of a business that wants to purchase a whole table, I mean, everything's written on there on the Go Butter. And thank you for your interest in it. Yep. We're always happy. It just spread that women helping women. Do you know how powerful we are?
That's right.
Still, especially when we gather and creative, nurturing, empathic minds and hearts that can just create. So yeah, I get all emotional. Okay, begin.
And we're better together. We have, like, that's the one thing, and that's the one thing that with this month of September, with taking control and taking action, and the things that we're having you work through and answer the questions and learn about yourself. It's you work on yourself, but then we all get together, and then we become this incredibly strong embodiment of change, because for positive change, because the days we need to get past the days of competition. We do not work well competing with one another, backstabbing each other, knocking each other down. And women have been notorious for doing that in the past, and we're still seeing that. But it doesn't work anymore. Like we are a community, and we need to, and the only way to get past that is to work on ourselves and get past our own vulnerabilities, our own insecurities, and then step into our greatness, and then grab on to the arms of other women and men to step all of us into our greatness and work together, because we have one fucked up world. And it got this way because of that lack mindset, of that place coming from a place of fear. And we can't have that happen anymore, because we are destroying ourselves. And I for one cannot sit still and watch that happen. So it is my duty to educate people, but also really work on myself and be a source of reference, and I can't think of the words, but to show my children what is possible and what they can do for themselves, so that they can walk in their own truth and be strong and courageous and stand up for those that can't stand up for themselves, and help them stand up for themselves so that they can, pay it forward to somebody else. So
that is beautiful. That was beautiful.
Thanks. I don't even know what I just said.
And it's true. Insecurities, jealousy, envy, they've been here since the beginning of time. Ask Abel about Cain. And so when you move forward and we're here now in today's date, right? Why are we still concerned about what someone has over what we have? And everything the badass Buddha just said, it breeds truth. I used to always say, I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm in competition with the woman I was yesterday. But in this self-isolation and this self-love that I have been placed myself in, that brings about more confusion sometimes. Let me tell you, healing is a tricky little fucker. And you got to really be dead set on wanting to heal all the parts of you. All the parts of you. And while you're healing all those parts of you, you might gain weight, you might lose weight, your hair might grow all lavishly, you might lose it. Trust the process. Trust the process, because the healing, because of all the stages and all the depths of them, you are the complete package. And in that, you realize, I don't want to be in competition with Margarita from yesterday. I want to honor her for getting me through to today.
That's nice. That's a nice transition.
What did I lack at the beginning of today that I should have grasped from the lessons I was teaching myself by absorbing everything around me yesterday? And that's the mentality that we need to keep. I don't care who's thinner than I am, who has a bigger ass than I am, who has perkier tits, whose smile is curly white. That is not my business. You know why? Because I need to continue walking those miles in my own damn shoes. That's the only way we're going to see who our true selves. And then I'm going to have the badass Buddha walk us into that. But that's what
I got to hurry though, because I got to.
All about. It's about who am I? Because then who am I to judge anybody outside of me? And we're so quick to do that.
Yep.
Then you get defensive when somebody calls you out on your own shit. And with that,
so we've talked about abandonment. That's what's the start, September 1st with Gail Kraft. Please go back to it if you have not. Then we went to what are you not seeing? What are you not hearing? Then we went to what are you not saying and what are you not feeling? And with that, we posed questions, and the questions are, what are you not blank? So what are you not hearing, seeing, saying? How is it affecting your life? And what are you going to do about it? We will continue those questions, especially next week. But today we're going to be talking about, and we can apply them today too, but walk a mile in your own effing shoes. So we hear the expression, walk a mile in her shoes. And it's telling us to be empathetic towards another person, to understand where they're coming from, what they're going through. And it's beautiful. And we are not knocking that statement. That statement still applies. We want you to do that as well. But sometimes we worry so much about other people, and we do have that empathy walking in their shoes. We're not thinking about our own shoes. And in order for us to help another person, we can't say it enough, we have to be aware of our own shoes. So it's about, what shoes are we walking in? Are we comfortable? What is making us uncomfortable? Are we standing strong in our path and walking in our own truth? And that's what this conversation is going to be today. And with that, I'm going to give it to you because I've got to go out to the bus stop.
Yeah, walking in your truth. A lot of people, Jonathan wrote, it's hard to see it when you don't deal with it. I'm not sure what your reference to, but whether it would be the domestic violence or what we're talking about, walking a mile in your own fucking shoes. You're absolutely right. And, let me tell you something, Jonathan, and everyone else here. A lot of people won't listen to podcasts and how to be better. They won't listen to what are red flags in your life and the people in your life. They won't listen to any of that. I had somebody tell me, I cannot listen to your shows. And this was last year, I was told this. I cannot listen to your shows because they speak the truth that I am not ready to face. They speak the truth. They sound too close to what I'm dealing with, and I cannot face it. Because in order to listen to something, acknowledge that it plays a role in your life, then you must make a decision to change. So if I don't listen to it, then there's no choices that I have to make. I can just pretend everything's fine. And that broke my heart for many reasons, because the person is very close to me. I love them dearly. Of course, we all want to help. But the fact that you have acknowledged your unhappiness and your willingness to live a facade of what you want is what's more painful for me, because we all go through something. We all make choices that makes us sad, unhappy, and all over the place. But we continue. The badass Buddha and I continue to get up every Tuesday and Thursday. It's going to be 3 years to do what we do because it is something we love, and it's because we love to share what we're doing. So all this week, we did what are you not seeing? What are you not hearing? What are you not saying? What are you not feeling? And it was all how to plant a seed of self-cultivations. of your five senses, to see, to smell, to taste, to touch, to feel. And your sixth sense is that to listen to that gut intuition that tells you, now we can't take a left. We really got to keep straight because that is the road that we must walk in. So what is it? It's acknowledgement. It's acceptance. It is allowing yourself to feel what you just acknowledged and what you have accepted as your truth, and then to release it out into the four winds of the world and celebrate the courageous woman that you are for giving yourself permission to acknowledge what you are not seeing, not hearing, not saying, not feeling, because you don't want to have to change or change it. And we can't change anyone around us. We must want to make the change for ourselves. And that's the only way we get to really realize and acknowledge what we need to change for ourselves is by walking a mile in our own fucking shoes. Don't borrow. Don't use temporary slippers that you get when you get a pedicure. Stop placing your feet in uncomfortable and borrowed shoes and walk that mile in your own damn shoes and feel the discomfort, feel the pain, feel that you have outgrown them, but for some reason you're still holding on to them. So you wear them and they're painful. And you don't want to go far because the further you go walking in them, the more blisters they're going to create, the more chaos they're going to cause your toenails. The pain shifting up your shit into your knee because the shoe doesn't fit anymore. So when you walk that mile in your own shoes, make sure they're shoes that are customized for your feet. Because especially ladies, I know you've heard this, Jonathan, your shoes should be your most expensive item. They should be the most expensive things you own in your wardrobe. Your feet will carry you all of your life. And so many people wear smaller sizes so their feet won't look big. Or they'll buy cheap shoes that end up hurting their feet, whether it be the blisters on the back of your heel, whether it's your toe all squinched up. It doesn't matter. They're ill-fitting. And if you experience those ill-fitting shoes, then what are you not applying to your life? If you choose to continue to wear ill-fitting shoes that you know will cause long-lasting damage to your feet, your ankles, up your shins, into your knees, because that's what happens. Read up on it. I've met people that have wore shoes like 2 sizes smaller just so that their feet look cute in them. What are we doing to ourselves that we expect people to treat us differently? So walking a mile in your own fucking shoes can create chaos. It will create chaos inside your mind, inside your heart. You're going to look at everything crazy. But guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to be like that surfer that everybody watches when that big wave comes and it surfs right in the middle and comes out still on his board, coming out onto the sand. That's the wave that you will eventually face. So why not learn about it so that when you're on that wave of chaos, you know exactly when to jump the fuck off and live your life accordingly. Dale.
And I'm thinking, and I don't know what you talked about because a neighbor was talking to me at the bus stop, so I don't know what you covered. So I apologize. I had it on, but she was talking to me. So think of it this way too, that we have so many different pairs of shoes. You have your heels, you have your boots. Sometimes the boots have heels. You have sneakers. You have chanclas. You have, and I'm a barefoot person, as is a Gladiator Guru, or barefoot people. So they all represent you. They all represent different terrains of your journey, because you cannot walk in your high heels, even though you try, in a grass, the grassy part of your journey. You can't walk that in a rocky part of your journey. So you have to think of it in those terms of, these shoes represent the different parts of me, but I have to be able to wear the shoes that work for that journey. So if you're going to walk a mile in your own fucking shoes, you need to choose your shoes widely. And of course, what we're meaning with all this conversation about shoes. It's all a metaphor. It's about, don't make the excuse that I can't do that journey. I can't walk that path because I'm not dressed appropriately. Then you get the necessary shoes to dress appropriately. You move forward in your life. If we were to look at my closet, I have all types of shoes. I have high-heeled shoes. I have shoes I can't even walk in because they're too high. But I wanted them because I wanted them to represent the sexy self that I figured out finally after all these years in middle age. I have boots, flat boots, heeled boots. I have sandals with heels, sandals without heels. I have hiking boots. I have sneakers. But I am barefoot a lot, and I can walk in a lot of different terrain with the bare feet. And the bare feet for me represent my grounding. I like grounding to my world, so I like being barefoot. But I'm not going to walk on the paths that are in the middle of winter that are rocky and icy. I'm not going to walk barefoot. I'm going to make sure that my shoes fit what I need and not make the excuse and say, oh, I can't. Mm-hmm. It is very scary. And I think about you, Gladiator Guru, when you were walking your path on the Camino, and, you showed those pictures of you, like, you're just there walking the path. And, if you don't have the proper footwear, you cannot make that journey. And then the proper footwear, I did hear what you're talking about, shoe size and all that. And the shoes have to fit you so that you do not make those blisters and cause those problems with your feet, so that then it becomes, oh, I can't walk on this journey anymore because my feet hurt and I have to rest. Resting is fine. We all get put down for different things, and we do have to rest on our journey. But for fuck's sakes, just like buy a comfortable pair of shoes. If you are using the excuse that, well, I am, I'm not comfortable with going in that direction in my life, then find things that are going to make you comfortable within that realm. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I love the term when people say you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to get uncomfortable. Yes, but that doesn't mean you can't walk your journey in comfortable shoes. Why make that uncomfortable journey uncomfortable with the clothes that you're wearing and the shoes that you're wearing? Build yourself up to be able to walk that journey. What represents you right now? What shoes represent you? What clothes? So that you step up. That does not mean that you will have to be in those shoes right now on your journey. You may change as you grow. And you may say, well, this is going to work for me, and this is not going to work for me anymore. And I'm going to stop talking for a second, but I do want to say the fact, happy birthday, Desiree. I saw that it was your birthday yesterday, and I did not comment. We did not comment on Viva, and I really apologize. Monday completely got away from me, and I really wasn't on social media. So happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, beautiful. Yeah, everything you said, everything we've been saying. Jonathan, thank you for staying on. So ladies,
I always love Jonathan's comment.
Walking a mile in your own fucking shoes is inquire within. Figure out who the hell you are in every scenario of your life. Why? Because we're like, oh, I ask somebody, who are you? You know how you say, well, who I am. But I asked them a certain question, and they were stumped. And it was the only person that could have answered that question was themselves. Because we don't take time out to get reacquainted with who we are, who we were, to know what path we've taken to really embrace who we are. And a lot of the times, we are too busy trying to correct someone else's path, trying to dictate what shoes they need to wear, trying to tell them, oh, you don't know, you didn't walk in my shoes. Well, talk to me about the journey in your shoes. And they can't even answer that.
That's true.
They're using the refrain, oh, walk a mile in my shoes. But they're not living it. They cannot sit down and say, Well, this is where I've been. This is what's happened. This is how I know. This is when I learned. This is when I became. They cannot say that. So before we go judging other people's journeys, before we go judging what path they have taken in their life, do self-reflection. Because walk a mile in your own fucking shoes means get to know you. And at every single level, that is you. And we don't do that. Grounding is the best thing. I love to walk barefoot. If anybody knows me, I love to be barefoot. My kids absolutely loathe bare feet. Whenever I'm with them, I try to rub my bare feet on them and they go ballistic. My kids are 32 and 36, and I still love to be that wicked mother. But it's true. I love it. When I walked the Camino the first time, I bought hiking boots. I donated them. And then halfway in Burgos, I had to buy some waterproof Adidas hiking sneakers, and they were okay. And then I wore sandals. This time, you get smarter after the first time. I'm looking for shoes. I didn't find any that were not heavy. I hate heavy shoes. Why? Maybe because I walk barefoot too much. So I decided to walk them in the pair of Nikes that my son bought me. And they were like that cushion Nike that has those things. Anyway, they weren't waterproof. And I said, fuck it. They're comfortable. I'm the one walking through 2 countries. Let me do this. And they were phenomenal. Yeah, they got wet. Yeah, I washed them in different albergues that I stood at.
They actually spray things. They have a spray.
That they would dry, and then they got wet again, and then the smell was 2-fold and then 3-fold. So they were still brand new when I had to discard them in Santiago. But the thing is, it's only material, and we were raised on do not love anything that cannot love you back. Listen to that again, write it down, because that's what we get stuck on. Material properties. We fight over it. We kill over it. You get into all these things because of cars, because of this. Don't love anything that can't love you back. They were practically brand new. I hated that I had to tell my son that I did that, but I love the fact that I loved myself enough not to carry stinky sneakers back from Europe. 1, washing them as much. I don't care to lose them. And I don't think he's going to buy me anytime soon, but I'm okay with that too, because those shoes, not one blister walking on them. So when we decide to say, I go for me, I'm going to spend this next 7 days, because God created the world in 7 days, to me. I'm going to write everything down about how I feel. You know, we gave you a month, right? 4 weeks of personal growth. And every day they have been amazing conversations. And I think that you need to write them. You need to get to know who you are. And that's what we're trying to do. And you're going to fail. I fail every day. I get up, I'm like, yes, warrior. Yes, I'm this. Kindness, gratitude. And then I'll hear something that breaks my heart, or I see something, I'm like, these motherfuckers. Let me come back to me. So it's a battle. It's a battle we got to face every day of our lives. But it's a battle that you got to be up to fighting, because there's only one of you. One of you. Make it great. Make the gift that you receive every day great, and say, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the best I can. And that's the most sincere promise you can make yourself every morning, right? I am going to make the best day possible. Everything I can do, I am going to try and do it. Be honest with yourself. No te engañes. And then try to be the best you can be. And walk in your shoes before you're judging mine. Don't judge other people's paths and their shoes, because then guess what? You're missing the big picture. And then you're going to close yourself off to the one person that you can only make a difference in their lives. Go ahead, badass.
And if you are judging people's, looking at their other, walking in their shoes and their lives, as you're walking on your path, you're not even going to be paying attention to what is going on in your own. So go into your closet today. We were talking about purging and shedding of the old self, and that's really the biggest part of September as well, is getting rid of, letting go of not just material things, but the things that represent you, who you are, the old self, and moving forward. And that's why we keep asking you these questions. But the closet does represent this. And so go into your closet and look at your shoes and say, does this represent me now? And you don't, I'm not telling you to get rid of the shoes, but you have to really look at them and say, does this represent me? Does this allow me to embrace who I have become, who I really am, and who I want to be? Is this going to be, work well for me with my journey? And I was telling Gladiator Guru yesterday when we were doing our prep call, when I came out of my depressive episode at 46 and a half, when I came out of it, because I was so depressed for so long, I had lost like 21 pounds. I hadn't been that thin in a while. And I was feeling really good about myself as I was starting to learn and grow about myself. So one of the things that I did was, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a size I hadn't been in a while. I went and I bought like clothes that I've never worn before. I went and I bought shoes. Now, the funny part is some of those shoes I think I've worn twice, maybe. But now I look at them in my closet and I say, you know what? I don't need those shoes anymore. They're beautiful. They're very sexy high heel shoes, but I look like a man when I walk in really high heel shoes. Like if you put a high heels on a guy, that's what I look like. And I said, you know what? That doesn't represent me. I know who I am. The high heel shoe doesn't represent me. What represents me is like, I'm a boho person. So that's what represents me. So I'm going to clean my closet out because I'm having the second part of my yard sale this week. Those shoes are going to show up. I'm also going to sell them on Marketplace. And then if I don't sell them, the donation place is going to get a really nice, some really great stuff. But I'm going to go in there and I'm going to clean house and say, these no longer work for me. They did at one time and they represented me, or at least what I thought I wanted to be. And I know who I am, and I can take any of those pairs of shoes in there and make them work for me. And that's the thing. If I can't make those shoes work for me, if I'm looking at a pair that are real pretty, but they're very uncomfortable on my feet, I have a wedding coming up, I'm not going to wear them because there's no point. There's no point in wearing them just because they look pretty. If I can't walk in them, if I'm slipping in them, if they're uncomfortable and they're rubbing on my feet. So I'm going to get rid of all that. And that is also going to represent the old me, or the me that I thought I was or wanted to be, and make the shoes work for me so that I can continue on my journey. I've become very active in the last few years. Like I've more active than I had ever been. So I need sneakers. I need hiking boots because those things are what help me do the things that I want to do. Do I have a nice pair of shoes to dress up and look sexy? And hell yeah, I do. But they're going to be what I want so that I know what's sexy for me and I know what's comfortable for me. So the shoes are just a metaphor, but they are significant because if you look and say, all I need is 2 pair of shoes, then that tells us that you're a simple person, and there's nothing wrong with that. That simplicity is what works for you. But if you're a person that you open that closet and you have like 100 pairs of shoes, you really got to ask yourself, do I really need the 100 pairs of shoes? What is it that's representing me here? Is it that I want to show that I have more? So is it really about the shoes, or is it really about me? And go through all those shoes and give yourself an example of where you're wearing those shoes, what you're experiencing, and when you're wearing those shoes. And if you are not wearing those shoes for all that, for all that much time, then consider getting rid of them. The shoes do not represent you. You represent you. The shoes are just an add-on to show people who you really are. And if you're not wearing those shoes all the time, then the question comes into play is, are they really showing people who you are, or are they showing people who you think you want them to see?
Yeah. And it's really all about you. If you do the work on yourself, you're loving yourself. There's nothing selfish about falling in love with yourself. There's nothing more time consuming than you not getting to learn yourself. You're wasting so much time in your life going forward and where you came from. So, there's shoe whores out there. I personally know shoe whores. They just love shoes.
Yeah.
And I know women. I have a friend that would buy all these expensive shoes, and she would just sit there with a glass of wine and look at them. Now, I've always said, what's your issue? Like, what were you missing? And that was like long time ago. What's your issue? What are you missing that this fulfills you? There's always something. There's always a story. But to purge what you no longer wear. I've had 3 people visit me in the last 2 weeks, and those 3 people have left with stuff from my closet. And why? Because 1, I'm not using them. 2, I don't need them. And 3, maybe they don't fit my fat ass right now, but that's okay, because when I will be back to comfortable, I'm comfortable even with this weight gain. You know why? Because I love me. Because I'm the most important person in my life. And because nothing anybody says calls me fat. What are you, in depression? You've gained weight? No, I'm actually healing, and it comes in all shapes and sizes. But because every morning I tell myself that I love myself, and I'm not going to lie to her throughout the day and bully myself because of weight gain. So as the badass Buddha was saying, you need to identify what excess you have in your life that is pulling down your soul. Yes. And if it's shoes, then it's shoes. I purged my closet. Even Iritza, who's here, she's actually on the back porch. And no, Chanel, she has not made me coffee or breakfast or anything. I made her coffee this morning before coming on the show. She's like, why you get rid of your shoes? Because I didn't want them. They all fit me, but I didn't want them. There was really no rhyme or reason behind it. I looked at it. I realized I had not been using them for a while. So why the hell was I allowing this to take up space in my closet? And it was taking space up here. So I got rid of them. So then the other day I wanted to wear something, right? Because then sometimes it ricochets back. I wanted to wear something and I couldn't wear it because all I own now are 3 pairs of sneakers. A pair of green Converse and 2 Bluefish. That's what they are. All the different colors in them, but they look like Converse. And I love them. And guess what? Because I'm an artist, because I'm cool like that, and because I love to wear whatever the hell I want to wear, and I don't care who looks at me, I love wearing them, and I wear them. And sometimes I even wear them with the clothes I had painted in. So I have paints all over the place. And so when you really love who you are, you don't give a shit who's looking at you weird. You don't give a shit about what someone has to say about you.
Yes.
I just implore you to acknowledge what you are not allowing yourself to hear, what you're not allowing yourself to see, what you are not allowing yourself to say, what you have been denying yourself to feel, because people, places, and things outside of you. Before you may think you have control or some kind of hold on people, places, and things outside of you, you need to understand the inside part of you.
Yes. And it's so much more fun when you do. Like, really, I think that's the big thing that we really want to emphasize to this whole entire month is the fact that when you get out of that bullshit element in your head to say, I really don't want to face things. I really don't want to look at my life. I don't really, because maybe you really do see things that you're not happy with, that you are aware of, that the clothes or the shoes are really only a Band-Aid, like Jonathan said, that you're looking at your life going, this isn't exactly how I want it to be. Or maybe you are looking at it going, I like all these things, but something's still off. You have to deal with that, because if you don't deal with that, it's like a wound. It'll just, like an infection, it'll just keep getting worse. It'll just keep getting worse. And you keep saying, oh, I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. And next thing you know, it becomes so bad that becomes septic. And then you have to deal with it. That's the way things like that work, is that it'll go. And then there's a point where you have to deal with it. And when you have to deal with it, it's so far gone that sometimes it's going to take even longer to deal with it and fix it, and may not even be fully healed and fixed because you just waited too long. And I've done that so often in my life, even in my growth. There were certain pieces in the last few years that I just kind of kept putting on the back because I was focusing on my personal growth, my mental and emotional well-being. But then I kept putting it, on the back. And then last year, that's when it hit me that because I didn't deal with it, I started to slip down. I couldn't grip the ground anymore and I started to slip. And then 2022 became the year of, okay, I have to admit that this is the stuff I wasn't dealing with and I have to deal with it this year, because if I do not, then I might as well just throw my hands up, because I'm just going to end up staying stuck where I am. And that's not okay anymore. And that had to start with so many pieces, including physical purges, including looking at what really does not serve me anymore, any longer, getting rid of these things. And that's why, like Gwen is saying, she has a whole basement full that she has to purge. You know what, Gwen, get in there, start pulling that stuff out, because it is so empowering to get rid of that clutter. And that actually helps get rid of the mental clutter. And then it opens you up to say, okay, well, I was afraid to face this. So, okay, I'm going to start doing this, and I see my path now. Think of it this way, that if you're on your journey and you've been walking in your shoes and you maybe have been paying attention to other people, but you've noticed that your path is overgrown. There's like weeds coming out of it. There's tree branches blocking it. There's whatever. And you're like, oh, it's too hard. Like, I'll do a little bit today, but I'm not going to do too much. You know what? Put on those shoes that are going to really make it worth for you. Like, really make it worth your while, work your path, and get in there and start ripping down those weeds, those trees, moving those boulders, get it out of the way so that you can live the life you want. And I'm thinking about this because I was cutting the grass a few days ago, and there was this huge rock. Like, it was absolutely huge. And it was in the way of where, like, I let it sit there for like a month, and now it's like the grass is growing around it. And I'm like, I can't have it sit there any longer. And here I am in my flip-flops. I'm in my chanclas, and I start to try to push this rock, and it was a lot heavier than I thought it was. And it, and I'm pushing it going, okay, not only do I have to be careful because I really can't afford to hurt my hands and wrists, but I can't afford for this to roll back and land on my foot, because I'm in chanclas, and it's not like I'm in boots that I can, if it rolled on. So I'm in this really weird position, but I'm determined. I'm like, screw this. This rock is in my way and I need it to go. And I am not going to go back in and switch into shoes just so I can move this rock. All I did was just make sure that I was prepared for, if it rolled back, put my feet in a certain way so it would not roll back on me. And I kept going, and I pushed the thing out of the way, didn't hurt myself, didn't roll on me. And so I was able to, quote, walk my little path right there, do what I needed to do in my journey in that moment in time with my chanclas. Now, would I do that all the time? If there was like 10 other rocks to move? Hell no. I would have walked my ass in the house. I would have put my hiking boots on, and I would have got gloves, and I would have put the right shoes on to get the job done on that particular journey. But I knew what I was capable of at that moment in time, because I knew me. I know it's just a little example. It's like a little way of understanding, but take it into a bigger picture. I knew me enough to know what I needed done, what I wanted done, how I wanted it done, and what the tools that I was using at that moment in time. But I also knew that if this was going to be more than one rock, I had to go in and I had to prepare myself. I had to take the time from moving the rock and go get what I needed to get to assist me in that. And that's the problem, is that a lot of times when we're looking at other people and being part of their journey and supporting them, which is nothing's wrong with that, we neglect to make sure that we have the right tools that we need for our own journey. We neglect to really think about what we want on our journey, because we're so worried about everybody else's journey.
Yeah. But the main thing is, because with all those neglects you're doing, you're neglecting yourself. Because there's a lot of people who don't believe they are courageous enough to take action for themselves. so they allow life to be a certain way, and then they blame the people around them for their lack of growth, for their
Yes.
depression, for
Yes.
their pain. And that's where you need to stop, because especially if it's happened more than once to you, then you got to really look at yourself as being the weakest link in these scenarios. And the only way you grow strength in it is by learning who the fuck you are
Yes.
in every part of your life. And
Yes.
sometimes, you know, you got to get raw with yourself. Sometimes you got to say, you know what? If not me, who? And
Exactly.
if not now, when? And get rid of all the excess, because you holding on to material things is not going to make you feel better. And if it does, it'll make you feel better in that moment. Pero después ¿qué pasa? That moment will pass, and then you're back to feeling even worse now, because you just lied to yourself about being fulfilled with temporary band-aids.
Yes.
So go back and figure out who you are. And that's all we talk about. You know what? When you blame people, places, and things, your environment, you know, think about that rose that grew through concrete, because it's no different than what you're going through.
I love that.
Worst scenario of your life, living amongst people who are the worst negative Nellies you will ever encounter, and that's what you should draw strength from, to say, I can't be like this. What do I got to learn about myself? What do I got to learn about how they make me feel with that negativity, so that I don't become that? There's always a choice. You either live or you die. That's the balance of life. So if you want to follow the masses, if you want to do things because it's easy, because you don't want to lose somebody, because you don't want to lose something, because you want to keep those 20 pairs of shoes you haven't worn in 5 years, you must make the choice of what you want to see, what you want to hear, what you want to say, what you want to feel, how you want to walk your journey. It has to be a life or death choice. That's it. Because if you don't take accountability for your life, you're dying a slow death. And you're going to always just pile on sadness, upon pain, upon hurt, upon disappointment. But it's your choice at the end of the day. Be alone. Start off alone. Start new. Find your corner of the world that's going to make you feel safe, and it's going to make you feel that self-love. And with that, I want to shout out to Jonathan for making a donation to Ajusta Tu Corona.
Yes. Yep.
Thank you so very much.
Yes.
But you know, and it's not about blame yourself or the world around you before, because I gotta head out to DMV. What it is about is acknowledgement. So if you know you need help, Dr. The Badass Buddha has told you over and over how she felt in 2020, how she felt in 2021. She was raw, she was candid with you. How she gained all this gumption in 2020, and the new year came, and then it's like she was going down. But remember, in order to come up, we must go down. So she still had to learn something.
Yes.
I still had to learn something in this self-healing, where I self-isolated all these months, that now Iris is here, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I feel like she's not doing much. But I learned how to categorize my pain. They were garbled up like a ball of yarn. Not that I perfected it. I learned to acknowledge them separately. The death of my father that I didn't cry about. The death of my husband that I didn't cry about. The death of my mother that pressed forward the grand waterfalls of my soul. So now I'm crying, but I didn't know for who.
It doesn't matter in the end, really.
It does matter, because I didn't give myself the proper mourning for each of them, and they were each separate entities of my life.
So you're crying for all of them.
Met significant differences in my life. So I needed to acknowledge who I was feeling that for, because when you let it all garble up like a leftover beef stew from different for the week, guess what happens? You're not really savoring the flavors of each individual thing. You're just eating to fill a void. I didn't want to fill a void with just crying and say, oh, I cried for them. Who's them? I needed to identify individually where I was putting my energy to, why I was putting my energy to it, and how was the purging of the pain that would then seal with the healing. So that's what's important. Discover who you are, mi gente, before we go. That's all we want to say is walk in your shoes and be alert, be aware, be awake to the you that only you can be.
I want, before we go, I know you have to go, but I want to, so Desiree recognizes this. I don't blame anyone though. So I do know it's me slowing myself down. We use excuses. Sometimes it is other people. It's somebody else's fault that I am where I am. I'm not walking my path. I'm not being who I am. And it's good to get to the next level to where you say, it's not anybody else's fault, it's mine. But we have to also be very careful not to stay on that excuse either. So once you know that it is you slowing yourself down, now the question is, and that's what this month is about, taking control and action, is what are you going to do about that? You know that it's you. So do you need a new pair of shoes that are comfortable to say, my journey's real rocky, so I'm going to need some hiking boots? And then when it gets to a smoother piece, then I'm going to switch to a fancier pair. But that's what it is you have to decide and you have to say, okay, it is me, but now it's time for me to move forward. And so I love this. I love everybody that's come on. Feeling comfortable getting
you
it.
said something, as much as I gotta go. You said something is very, 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 very important, at least to me, because everybody shares different views, and that's where we're all at different levels of healing. And the majority of us are still not even halfway up to our point of healing because we keep allowing things to knock us down. But let me tell you this: se me fue de las manos. When we say about blaming other people, yes, there are people that have put us in our feelings. There are people whose actions have made us react a certain kind of way. Because I go from 0 to 150 in a heartbeat. So I had to learn how to control that rage. And I didn't learn it till I was 50. And then I didn't put it into play till I was about 52. Okay. And today it's still kind of hard because I'll still blow up in a heartbeat and people looking at me like I'm retarded. And I'm okay with that because that's a good release. But let me tell you, I am a molestation and rape survivor. And I've never held myself as a victim. Why? I don't know. It's a gift of insight that I've had since the age of 6. But let me tell you something. That wasn't anything I put myself in. I was not to blame for the actions of those people. So there was other people that, were to blame for the emotions I carried for decades. But it's totally up to me. And it seems unfair that people can abuse you and it's not them, but it's totally, it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to heal. And that's where the gathering of women, the gathering of Jonathan with women come in.
The gathering of Jonathan.
That's when we heal. Sometimes we don't need to battle alone. Find a tribe and battle beautifully.
Yes. And
because
with
people
that,
will hurt you, but it's up to you to say, but don't control me.
That's right. That's right. And when we do that, we allow the control. So so walk a mile in your own effing shoes. Don't worry about anybody else. Be there for them, understand, have the empathy, but know that you can't help them unless you help yourself and follow your own path and your own truth. So with that, Gladiator Guru's got to go. We will be back on Thursday with Forgiveness Takes Courage. And this is going to be based on something that Margarita de Margarita wrote in one of her books. And this is going to be a phenomenal conversation as well, all for the month of September's Take Control and Take Action. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming on. We had a lot of new faces come on, and we were thrilled to have you here. So thank you all for coming on. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, remember, mi gente, in everything you do, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste.